everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with Out with a Bang collaboration 2026. I did participate in this last year and it was a lot of fun, so I decided to join again. It is being hosted by Mandy from Junk Journal Fix, SunflowersAndDors, and Julie from Julie's Papercraft. The collaboration is a 31-day event. It goes from August 1st to August 31st. There are 31 different prompts for the month. All the information you will find linked below, and on their Facebook page you will find freebies and I believe a discount on the kits for this month. The kits are both from Julie and Mandy and they are gorgeous. All right, so I'm going to show you what I started with. Okay, my prompt for today is time worn. So I'm trying to keep the time worn effect throughout my little lapbook journal. This is my cover, basically. What I did was, this was craft cardstock, and what I did was I took my walnut stain ink and brushed it over, and then I took decoupage and I did Mod Podge, I'm sorry, and I did a thick coat, and then I took a stiff brush and I tapped it. Hopefully you can see the kind of effect that it gives to make it look a little bit more aged. This is my cover. Love this little girl, and I just kind of crinkled this up, sewed around it, and put a piece of tape there. Not all the pages are time worn, although I did rip some of the pages here. This is a little flip. This little guy is adorable. And this is a card from one of the old address books with the thumb thing that you would flip and it would go right to the alphabet. My parents used to have one of those. In everything that I do make, and when I do get kits from a specific designer, I always put their names on it so I know where the kits came from. So I hide them someplace, and I just thought that was appropriate there. And this is just, I guess you want to call this like a parchment paper that I put in here just to make this book. Now I'm going to flip this up, and I'm going to show you kind of how I made this page today, because I was looking for a torn wallpaper look with a little bit of spackle showing. And there's the time for my time worn. Put a little clock up there. This is the top page, and I've got journaling space up here. And I've got this little girl here. And then these here. This slides out. I'm going to move this over some. This slides out so you can see the pages that I have here. And this is just because I wanted the pages. I did add some, you know, this is, when you're making something like this, you have to use flat because everything will get stuck. So these are the tags from Mandy's kits. And here I've got on the back, this is from Julie's kit. And this is from Julie's kit. The sunflowers are from Julie's kit. And these slide right back in. And it just makes for an interesting piece of journaling. And these are tags, also from Julie's kit. So I'm gonna close that up, close this up, and I'm gonna flip it over. Then on this page here, I just have another little flip. I put a tag in here with the bee, the little guy catching the bee. And then I did just some lace and stuff on here, kind of to age it. Now, I just want to show you, I don't necessarily glue my pages right away. I do use this. It is the temporary tape runner, and it holds it in place until I know exactly where I want each page. So this way, in case I want to change things around, I still have that opportunity. Now, the page that I'm making today is going to be another flip. So I did not glue this. There's two pages I didn't glue down yet because I wasn't sure where I was going to put it. So I'm going to put this flip to go this way, up like this. So now I'm going to put this in away and I'm going to show you how I'm going to make a page for that. I did make one already in my first video that I attempted, but bled all over something, so I had to redo it. That's why I have the Band-Aid on my finger. This little guy here, Mandy has in her kit how to make this, and this was the sample, and I thought he was so cute. I just cut that to stick in the envelope here. And as you can see, that I tried again to go for the worn paper, the worn wallpaper, and then some spackle in the back. So let me get started. All right, first of all, when you do this, I suggest that you don't use a page that you've printed, because it can run once you get it wet. Sometimes the ink from the inkjet printers just run, and mine does all the time. So anyway, so I'm using a piece of cardstock that I've gotten from one of my, my books that I have. So the first thing I'm going to do is, because I didn't do this yet, is just age my corners real quick before I dye the corners. Get these a little roughed up here. I've had this little tool for ages. It's from Close to My Heart. When I used to go to all the Close to My Heart parties, this was one of the things that I liked having, because I usually, my style is vintage, so I would always kind of edge my papers this way. And you can even put a little rip in it if you wanted to with this. It just go like that, and it kind of rips it a little bit. But anyway, getting on with that. All right, the first thing I do is I do use either Mod Podge or matte medium. And matte medium takes a little bit longer to dry, so I kind of use this. So if I have to move things around, I have that opportunity. I just get that at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, whatever. And I'm just going to spread that over here. I don't want it to dry too much, because I want it to be wet for the next one. So, just clean this up a bit. Then I'm going to get I used the texture paste from Stamperia, the pasta structure, sculpture. I use this because it lasts a lot longer, and it doesn't mold like the other ones do. Every time I use and I love Tim Holtz products, but every time I use it, I go to open it again, even if I seal it the right way, it molds. So I end up throwing it out, and to me it's a waste of money. And this one I've had for about 1.5 years now with no problem. It's actually my second one. So now I'm going to spray a little water in here, because I want to loosen up this a little bit. I want a looser texture on the texture paste. Make it a little bit more pliable. And you're putting it down. And you don't need that much, just to get it to where you want it to be. Okay, and now I'm going to do this. I'm going to put this on here like such. And again, you don't have to do the whole thing, because I'm going to put paper over top of that. So I want to get it to where it's chunky in some areas and not in so much in the others. I don't mind if there's a clump there. So we're going to let that dry a minute. I'm going to show you what I do with the next page, with the next part rather. I use a book page. Now I just want to show you. This is the one that I'm going to be using today, because I already did that one. But you can use a book page or something that's a softer material that you can crunch up. Okay, and what I do is I This is a heavier one. I do like the light. Well, here's the lighter one. I'll try this one here. This is a lighter thickness than this one. I like this one because it's more yellowed, but I'll save that for another project. So what I do is I take this, I just spray it lightly, and I crumple it up. And then I just place some folds. If I want to rip my edges, I do. If I want to make a little seam here like that, I can. Trying to look for, again, a worn wallpaper look. But so you can do, you know, there's a couple different things. And when you do this, you need to let it dry so you can see how exactly you want it, or you can dry it with your dryer. When you wet it and hold it down, it seems to hold it as it dries. It seems to hold your things, but that's kind of how I make that. You can even do that one in the middle, and I'm not going to use this one, so I'm going to show you. If you wet it, you can do that where you can peel it back and have something pop out the middle if you so desire. It's a personal preference, but like that. You can just take an image. I'll just use this one for example and pop her through if you wanted to, you know, or you can just leave it like torn, do a little hole in there and have the spackle show through like that. So anyway, I've done mine already. So what I want to do with this one is I want to put it down in a, but I want to embellish this page. So I'm going to quickly embellish this, and I've decided to use this ATC card. I had made a couple ATC cards for each of the proms so far, you know, and I wanted to, on the other one, I did use Mandy's images, and this one I want to use Julie's images. I have used both kits throughout my lap book. Okay, so I pretty much know I want to put this there, so I'm going to glue this on, but I want to sew around the edges real quick. So I'm going to just glue this in the center because I don't want to okay, I'm just going to go to my machine real quick. And okay, thank you for your patience on that. I appreciate it. I wanted to show you how I did this though. I didn't do it around the whole thing, but I wanted to add a little bit more texture to this. So I had to wait to do that. Now I can glue down the edges a little bit more on here. I'm going to add something else too, and then I'm going to take this here. Oh, I want to ink my edges on here real quick. I need my Distress Oxide. Okay, here we go. I'm going to use my vintage photo on here and just darken my edges a little bit. This is still a little wet, so I'm trying to be a little careful because this stuff will get all over you. That's why it's best if you let it dry. I have a thread there. Okay. I might have to do them again after it dries a little bit. And I'm going to take this, and as you can see, you don't necessarily have to put the stuff underneath, but I want that there. I want that spackle to be a little bit more visible. I'm going to fold this up down here to make that a little bit more visible. And because that spackle and the ink is behind it, this can kind of stay here, and I can just glue around the edges. To keep this in place. Will have to sew around the edges here, but I can't do it. I will, like I did here, I sewed around the edges. I'm just gonna wait and see. And if I need to do a little bit more shading on this paper here, although I like, because this is a natural from one of the book pages I got. I recommend that you can use a book page, but if the ink behind it, sometimes, like this one here had the ink on it, and when I first did it, it showed through, but it dried where you can't see it. So you just got to be careful what you use. But you see there was red ink back there. That's not my blood cut. This was from a pen that I didn't realize was back there. And it did come through when I did it, but when it dried, it wasn't there. So, to each his own. Let me put this down here. Okay. I will add more to embellish this as well. But I just wanted to show you the idea. So I'm going to bring my book back. And I have to flip it up this way. See, I could put this, see, this is one of the other pages that I don't have done here. So I could put this actually here like this. And just have another flip up here. I'm undecided on that, or should I just leave it into the back? So I might just put that on here because this guy tends to flip open. I could even do it this way down here. I'm a flip person. I love making lap books. I love working with envelopes, and I love making flips. So I'm always looking to somehow or other make a flip. So, but I'm trying to think, this one would go nicer with what I have here on this page. So I might do that. And then this one will go on the back like such. Yeah, I think that'll work because I've got this little guy here too. So that's what I'll do. But again, I do have to ink my edges on this and then put these on and wait for this to dry. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me. I thank you so much for watching, and please join in the fun. Thank you.